have there been any sort of funny or, I guess, amusing moments?
Yes, she's difficult sometimes. She has a mind of her own. She can be very stubborn, and she's very
like
sassy.
Some people.
Yeah, she has her own little personality. So she'll pretty much want to please you, but if she wants to do something on her own, she's going to do it.
Because it's not easy to get the exact photo you need for Instagram,
No.
is it? So apparently all I need to do is take a photo of myself, post it on Instagram, and I can become famous with millions of followers. Well, not quite. But today on NSK9, we're going to find out what it takes to become an Instagram star for a dog. Did you always have the idea that Clover would become an Instagram dog?
Had no idea what even an Instagram dog even was.
So how did this happen?
Well, we had, sorry. When we had her at home, I started posting a lot of pictures on my Instagram, my own personal Instagram. And we had friends and family that, mostly friends that were like, you're posting too many dog photos every day. So my husband suggested, why don't we make an account for the dog? So we did that. It was about October, November when we started that. And then after Christmas, I started realizing that there was other people that were on there that had very big accounts, and they were getting products, and I didn't really know the whole Instagram dog world or even influencer world at that point. Clover.
He's found something to
yeah, she likes to sniff once in a while. Come on. Yeah. Come here. So at that time, I started reaching out, or people were reaching out to us to do some modeling for some small businesses and have a product and take some pictures with them for the post. And just kind of went from there. Good girl.
Mayenda went from not knowing much about dogs on Instagram to having Clover become one of the most followed dogs in Nova Scotia on the social media forum.
What's your name?
Clover.
Clover. Hello.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Enjoy your day.
Thanks.
How did you come up with the name Clover?
Well, she's half Irish setter, so part of the Heritage Heritage Minutes commercials, where the Irish immigrants come over to Canada, was we have to keep their Irish name. So we thought, why not? So we thought about some Irish kind of names for a dog, and Clover kind of stuck. Yeah, kind of a weird way to get it, but.
Well, that works. And then of course, they ended up with four-legged Clover
yeah,
for
just
Instagram.
as a pun. Yeah, that was Wade that did it, my husband and her dog dad. Yeah.
So we hear about influencers and Instagrammers becoming multi-millionaires off doing this. Like, that's not where you're at.
No, not at all.
But you have a lot of followers.
We do, yeah.
It's like 24,000 or something.
Yeah, I think we're at 23 something now, yeah, through Instagram.
Did you expect that?
I had no idea. I just started the account for fun, and along the way we just met a lot of different accounts that we enjoy talking with, so they'll follow you and engage with you, as well as we host giveaways sometimes with companies, and that kind of gains some following as well. So people that might not notice the account at first might kind of latch on.
So this kind of turns into like a little business then, doesn't it?
It did a little bit, yeah.
So tell me what your day is like to have Clover and an Instagram.
Yeah, so right now I'll be working full-time. I've been flowed full-time to part-time since I've had her. So I have to be really organized to keep the Instagram profile going while still taking care of my dog and still going to work and doing all my day-to-day things. So essentially in the morning when I get up, you might check your messages, see any emails that are going on, and have time to respond to those through the morning. I'll get home on my lunch, I take her out for walks, and then when I get home is usually when I end up posting in the evenings, because I have a little more time to do that. Sometimes it can take up to an hour to get the post up, to engage with other accounts, so it can take a lot of time. So usually I'll put on a TV show and just use social media for an hour in the evening and just unwind from work. And the weekends are where I really need to take the time to do any photos for products or collaborations and get out and get some nice pictures.
It's a little more than just taking a snapshot. If you want to be an Instagram star, it takes work, patience, and paying attention to trends.
Did it take much to learn how to master Instagram?
I just would read about some of the bigger accounts, what they had done. Some of them had little guidebooks that they had through their website, so I just took a peek at what that would mean. Looked at some blogs onto how to take pictures better, and I attended some sessions on how to do that. And that's what's going to be happening today. Like I said, one of the local photography companies are doing another walk, so she'll kind of come through and teach you how to use your camera at times, or nice places for pictures along the way. So yeah, you just have to put yourself out there and YouTube things and look at blogs and other people's accounts.
So some people get into this and then they connect not only Instagram, but they start into the whole YouTube world and everything else.
Yeah.
Have you started that, or does that interest you at all?
Kind of. We do have, this past year, I started venturing into another social media app called TikTok.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so she's already doubled the followers on there than she has on her own account here. And it's a more non-committal type app. That's just fun videos to post that follow some trends. So we try to work it in a dog way.
And that, it's funny you mentioned TikTok, because that seems to have become a recent thing for dog videos.
Yeah. It's really popular right now. So essentially it's like a video app. It has 15-second videos. A lot of them follow along with music. There's trends that people come up with. It started off as what's called Musical.ly, that a lot of teenagers would have did lip singing videos to, and then they rebranded a year or two ago. I find the ones that I can do that are really posed are often at my house or in a spot that she's really comfortable. The ones here are usually like this. Like, she might sit down and do like a nice photo, but oftentimes she's sniffing the air, she's moving around, so I have to use different settings to capture her movement. So some of those are really nice pictures though too. So
what would you say to somebody that, they get a new puppy and they say, I'm going to be an Instagram star?
It's not that easy. The ones that go very popular are either New York or LA dogs, because they have a lot of events and a lot of networking, and they have managers, and it's really...
They
have managers.
A dog can smile for a few different reasons. A dog's smile is usually considered a submissive behavior, which means that the dog isn't quite sure or can even be fearful of a particular situation. A dog's smile can also be a reinforced behavior, because it's often a behavior that us as owners find quite cute, and the dog gets attention from doing that particular behavior. A dog's smile, though, can mean that they are stressed and fearful. So a submissive behavior can turn into a fearful behavior. It's always recommended that until you know that a dog is friendly, to exercise caution when a dog is smiling.
This is Lulu. She's a little miniature Sheltie. We got her outside at Moncton in July of this year, late July. She was born May 27th of this year, so she'll be 7 months old next week.
And she very quickly got an Instagram account.
Yes, she did. Yes, she does. My wife and I, we thought about it before we were going to get a dog, but once we nailed down a name, she said that we start uploading photos before we actually got her. We just borrowed photos from the breeder there, so yeah.
So this was like almost getting ready, getting your audience ready for the...
Yes, It was basically saying, I'm Lulu, I'm only 4 or 5 weeks old, I'm gonna be adopted with fur mommy, fur daddy, and I'm waiting for, late July when I'm all ready to go with them. We came up with a lot of names. It's one of those things we've done for months. She pitches something, I pitch something. I actually wanted to call a dog Turbo at one time. Carrie didn't like it. Then we got down to the idea of Lulu. And initially Carrie thought LU. And I said for personal reasons as a child, I don't want to call her Lulu. But I said, she said, what if we change it to LOO, like Lulu Goo Goo, as in after you? Then I said, well, it's like a child. I don't think the child taking my last name without you talking about it. Because we've jokingly talked about our hyphenated name, her last name being Ryan. Said, let's call the dog Rygoo. And she said, no. Her last name Goo Goo, first name Lulu. I said, that works for me. It worked for her. And it's stuck ever since.
So Lulu Goo Goo.
Yeah, it's a bit of a homage to my last name, which is Megamoth or Owl from Goo Goo Quest / Goo Goo.
Lulu is at the start of her Instagram career. With only a couple hundred followers so far, Jarvis and Carrie Ann take Instagram a lot less seriously for Lulu than do Clover and Myanda. For them, it started as a way to celebrate their new puppy.
I upload a lot of photos on my own with running, with fitness and everything. And I figured if we added dog photos to that, which I do once in a while, I don't like overloading social media too much. So I figured, you know what? Lulu should just get her own account instead there. And there's, of course, a lot of other Sheltie Instagram accounts and dog accounts as well on Instagram. So Lulu's got some of her followers, and of course, she's a fan of other Shelties as well, too.
So you and your wife are regularly posing photos and posting photos.
Yes.
Mostly just fun stuff, right?
Yeah. She does them on her own. Sometimes I do them on my own. We try to keep it updated every couple of days. Sometimes we get a lot of great photos. We'll update them a couple times within the day. So this morning she had a quick visit to the vet. So my wife uploaded those ones. And then this afternoon I took her for a walk around the lake with beautiful ice and snow in the background. I just thought it'd be a great background shot. Yeah. So we upload that one this evening. But for a couple of days, we didn't really upload anything.
But it's a way to share with your family and friends. And
absolutely.
And in this case, anybody else who decides to follow.
Yeah, absolutely. So my wife and I, we're going to Whalesong this weekend to see my family. And I jokingly say, we're going to come see our Megamoth fur family and go see your relatives on that side, because I say I'm her fur daddy, so my family's her family.
There's something a bit different between Lulu Goo Goo's Instagram account and Clover's. Lulu's is all written in the first person. This was a conscious decision, so you feel like you're hearing Lulu's thoughts directly. And when you interact online, Lulu writes back.
We don't just post photos per se. We try to speak or talk as if the dog is running the account. So Lulu this morning wrote down, I wasn't feeling too well, so I went to the vet to make sure I was okay. And I think there's kind of like an adorableness with that there. It's like a lot of people say dogs have personality. I jokingly like to say dogs pretend they think they're people. There's a Seinfeld monologue about that back in the 80s there. And so with her Instagram account, it's not just putting up photos, but it's like speaking on her behalf as if she were the ones posting up the photos there. So, and I think that's what makes her Instagram account likable too. It's like you can actually, some people speak to her and question her and talk to her like a dog as a person, and Lulu will respond as a person saying, I'm okay, my tummy was just a little off, I'll be all right. And I think that makes it more engaging instead of posting photos, but me or Carrie speaking on behalf of her.
Jarvis, Carrie Ann, and Lulu are just having fun with their Instagram fame. Myanda and Clover are having fun too. They wouldn't do it otherwise. But their following has grown large enough that it now involves posts sponsored by companies which come with their own contracts and even swag.
Good girl. They'll send off a contract to you, and then this is what you have to post. These are the hashtags you have to use. This is the places you need to post them. Sometimes you'll get dates of when you need to post the stuff. So
that sounds like a lot of work.
It can be. So that's when I have the calendar open and I start like writing out which is where and when do I have to post something and that kind of stuff.
So what makes it worth it to do all that?
Well, she gets lots of good stuff that normally like I wouldn't have been able to either afford or think about buying her. and you know, some extra money might come along with it. So it's nice because I can take that and use any extra spare money or extra money to go to training classes with her instead, or use it at her daycare, or do other things that are more fun.
Yeah.
So she gets her toys and her treats and her you know, food and things like that. So those would add up
Clover
pretty.
really gets something out of this.
She does, yeah. We do it really for her. I might get the odd perk here and there, but
Yeah.
it's mostly for the dog.
You're probably not using the dog food for yourself
No.
and the things that you get. When we think of Instagram influencers, you know, we kind of think of people on beaches and traveling around the world and like all the sensational
Yeah.
stories.
Yeah.
Dogs maybe aren't
Yeah.
top of mind.
Yeah, exactly. And there's a lot of different pet accounts, like they have pig accounts and hedgehog accounts, and some of them are travel accounts. So there's a niche out there for everybody if they want to crack into it. But pets have been becoming really popular on there. I found in the last little while. Like there's some animal accounts. The big ones have like 3 million followers
Oh, wow.
and over 1 million followers. So yeah,
Do you want to get to that point?
it'd be nice. But
That'd be a lot of fun. That would be
it
more
would
people
be.
than live in Nova Scotia.
I know.
And I'm not saying that's not possible. I
Yeah.
just like that's
Yeah.
to give you a sense of like how many people that is. That's a lot of
Yeah,
people.
a lot of those, and like I said before, a lot of those accounts that reach that kind of status would have other people helping them out, like assistants, managers, and going to PR and different events and things like that in different places.
So it gets to that level that
It can.
people involve PR companies
Yeah.
and everything.
Yeah, yeah,
That's crazy.
it is.
Yes, you should definitely brush your dog's teeth. The main reason is because all the chew toys in the world, even the specialty diets, they just can't wear the tartar off the teeth like the mechanical action of you brushing their teeth. Now, not every dog can tolerate having their teeth brushed, but if they do tolerate it, it's the best thing you can do.
I know we talked about some things for her, but there is some reasons why I would do it for myself. So I work in mental health and addictions here in Nova Scotia. So having a dog and doing this type of thing, like being creative on the outskirts of work, taking pictures, like just doing fun things with dogs, it's a good outlet to kind of promote your own mental health and kind of keep things positive and have fun. So I think that's really important.
It really wouldn't be worth being an Instagram star for the fame and fortune, at least not as a dog in Nova Scotia. There's Charlie with 95,000 followers and Riley with 22,000 and many others including Clover and Lulu, but none with the millions that some international dogs have. So here it really is about getting out with your dog, though it still takes work if you want to keep your following.
You're saying it's a lot more work than
It's a
what
lot
people
more
think.
work, yeah. So you have to, I'd say at least like taking some time on the weekends. Sometimes it can be more casual, like out on a hike or just doing something, taking some cute photos, like that can work. But then if you start adding products and things into it, it does take a little more time to plan it. And there's some commitment with the Instagram like algorithm, like you were talking about earlier. It's hard to get seen, so to get your post seen, you do have to engage with other accounts, and that can take a little bit of time.
So is that that's replying and posting on other
Applying,
accounts?
posting, keeping up your posts, putting things on stories, putting videos on there, writing back to people. It can take a long time, like to do that every day.
So I didn't know that. So and that Instagram algorithm changes all the time too, doesn't it? Yeah.
There's no way to figure it out.
So are there things that you find that you do that suddenly trigger lots of interest over time? Or?
So certain posts that she'll do well with are ones with her dog dad. They seem to go, because they both look very similar, red hair. So those ones will go a little more viral than others. Videos tend to do better than pictures, so sometimes I'll mix it up and put a video in there. And just other ones with her wearing like outdoor adventure stuff like she is today. Sometimes that'll be good. Like if we're on a hike with a nice scenery, there's a lot of hiking accounts and things. I'd like to see that.
And I guess you're fortunate, right? Because I mean, you live somewhere where there's lots of places nearby that look cool.
A lot of people have written us asking if, like, how's Nova Scotia? Should we come visit? So
Really?
Yeah.
So has tourism ever reached out to you then?
No.
Because that seems like a natural connection with all the photos and everything.
Yeah, she's done a fair traveling around the province and lots of different hikes.
For Myanda, having Clover as a dog of Instagram has brought her another benefit, getting a chance to meet other fur families.
Come on, keep walking. The best part, like just meeting new friends and going to different meetups, and we host meetups and events through the Instagram world locally. So tomorrow there's a few dogs that wanted to get together, and so we'll meet at a different location. So that's kind of the nice part, is that you always have somebody to go out on a walk with or hike with or to hang out with, because they have a dog too, and that wants to do the same thing. But also like the perks of it by her getting some things that make her life a little more comfortable. And that way we can take any spare cash into other domains like her training and for vet bills and things like that. Yeah.
Because it really isn't a profit maker at the end of the day.
No. Just a little bit here and there.
Yeah. So it's kind of like, it's a hobby, but a serious hobby.
Yeah.
But I guess you can also post photos from previous days
I
too,
have
right?
a collection of pictures. So right now I probably would have about 20 that I need to post, or that I could post if I wanted to. And then as things come up, like I might take a photo and bump another one out. So you always have a bunch of pictures to use. Stay. Oh, Wynn's gonna take that over. Sure.
So what's your hope for Lulu's Instagram fame?
Well, for me, making more friends. Her making more friends. If it takes off, great. If it doesn't, that's perfectly fine, because we have a lot of the people on there are network friends of myself or Carrie, or friends of friends. And sometimes random Sheltie-gram accounts from around the world just start following her. Some just start talking to her. Then, of course, we talk back with them as well, too, as if they're just two people making friends with each other, although they're two Shelties from other sides of the world there sometimes.
Visit us online to tell us your dog stories for possible inclusion in future episodes. And don't forget to share photos of your canine friends on social media with the hashtag NSK9.
My hope is just to keep having fun, and I love connecting with other people, and the more that we're on it, there's more local people that are popping up through the dog Instagram community, and there's lots of people now on worldwide that I can connect with, and I've met a few of them through my travels in the last 2 years. So it's just nice to be able to have that connection. There's not really like a set goal of followers or anything like that. Like, we're just kind of doing it to have fun and take photos of her life, so that way I'll have lots of nice memories later on. But the other stuff is added bonus.
Did you ever think it would get to this point?
No, no idea.
Injury rehabilitation and prevention is common for human athletes. Next time on NSK9, we spend time with Sarah McKeegan at Upward Dog to learn about rehabilitation in dogs.
Honestly, it was something my dad kind of said to me as a joke. Like, he wasn't even serious. And then I was like, wait a minute, that could work. Like, Upward Dog, that makes sense to me, because it's applying it's this idea of getting better, you're moving up. It's my yoga kind of little background. And then I wanted to call it, I incorporated the rehab and wellness, because I didn't want it just to be about injuries, that I wanted to have a proactive. And again, I find that The people that I tend to work with connect with the word wellness. It means something to them.